Guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beyond the Plate. And this is the Monday that's leading up to Republic Day, which is on Friday. So very happy Republic Day in advance. This is the day, as you all know, we gave ourselves the Constitution of India and we became a republic. And looking resplendent to bring in another Republic Day is my wonderful co-host, Chef Amrita Raichand. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you for those beautiful words and a very good morning to all our Radio 1 listeners.
I think you and me would have similar memories. Being made or sitting in front of Doordarshan, watching the wonderful Republic Day parade through Rajpath, smart men in uniforms saluting some of our finest aircrafts going on the road, those tableaus of dancers, of culture, all of that. Wasn't it fascinating as a child to watch all of that?
It really was. And yeah, those memories keep coming back on every year. But apart from the beautiful memories and all the celebrations that happen, we must take a moment today to appreciate, something that I'm going to talk about today. Do you know that soon after our independence, Rishi, and with the resulting partition, there was chaos, excitement, celebration, all happening at the same time. But still, the government at the time realized the importance and the urgency of having a constitutional framework. Amazingly, within just 2 weeks, a special committee was formed to draft a permanent constitution for independent India, and the legendary Dr. Ambedkar was made the chairman of the same. Now, the first draft of this constitution was put out in only 3 months, and this document was then submitted to the Constituent Assembly. The Assembly met over numerous sessions in the next 2 years before finally adopting it as our constitution on 24th January 1950. Now, imagine 308 members of the Assembly were made to sign on 2 handwritten versions of this constitution, one in Hindi and one in English. And the constitution came into effect officially 2 days later on January 26, 1950. Before this, by the way, we were governed by the British Colonial Government of India Act of 1935. And finally, with our constitution in place, we became a sovereign republic. Also a day where Dr. Rajendra Prasad began his tenure as the first president of independent India.
And I think no other greater words have been written than the preamble to the Constitution of India. We, the people of India, having solemnly, so beautifully written. Now, I just wonder, since Pakistan and ourselves got ourselves our independence, became 2 separate countries, more or less the same day, though they celebrated a day apart, where are they as far as being a republic is concerned? How were they keeping abreast with us, or were they latecomers to the party?
Absolutely, and rather latecomers. I mean, like you said, they got their independence just 1 day before us. But after 1947, it took 3 governor generals, 4 prime ministers, and 9 years to produce Pakistan's first constitution, all the way in 1956. However, even this was rejected on the final day of its adoption. Finally, the current constitution of Pakistan, after great toil, got adopted all the way in 1973, Rishi. And as history will remind us, that it was twice suspended by military coups of General Zia-ul Haq and General Musharraf. Obviously, the military regimes amended it in ways that were fundamentally in the army's favor.
So what you got to love about India. We're
Absolutely.
sovereign, we're socialist, we're secular, and most importantly, we have never ever been under martial law. We've always had free and fair democratic elections and elected the party of our choice.
And Rishi, for that, we need to appreciate our political, military and legal leaders, as clearly they had their heart in the right place. Because thankfully, we have in India a splendid constitution.
Okay, before we get into the food of it, some essentials or interesting facts about Republic Day.
All right, this is very interesting. Republic Day celebration since 1955 has been held in Rajpath. That we all know.
True.
But did you know that Rajpath was originally known as Kingsway? This was to honor the then Emperor George V. Road was renamed Rajpath after independence, and obviously in Hindi, what it literally means is Kingsway. Secondly, every year the leader of a particular nation is invited to be the chief guest for that year's Republic Day parade. President Sukarno of Indonesia was the first to attend India's Republic Day celebrations in 1950. This year, do you know who we have?
Well, little birdie tells me that Emmanuel Macron,
Yes,
who
you're right.
is the president of France, will be here. I know our prime minister and him share very warm vibes. They always give each other big hugs.
Yes, absolutely.
And, your son is a football player. He'll tell you that just like Macron went into the changing room of the French football team when they were ousted from the World Cup. Similarly, our Prime Minister went into the Indian cricket dressing room when we were ousted from the Cricket World Cup. So, I think there are interesting ideas flowing either way.
Also, the regimen of the way the parade happens every year is quite interesting. So it starts after the arrival of the President of India. Then the President's cavalier bodyguards salute the national flag first. This is followed by the national anthem. Then we have a 21-gun salute. Now, Rishi, the interesting thing is, this firing is not done using 21 cannons. It is done with 7 cannons of the Indian Army, known as 25 ponders, that fire 3 rounds each.
Wow.
So 7 into 3 is 21. And now this is really interesting. Now, each member of the military who takes part in this parade, in this march past, has to go through 4 layers of investigation. Besides that, their guns are extensively investigated and inspected to ensure they're not carrying live bullets. Quite interesting, isn't it?
Very interesting. The Ask Amrita section comes up at the end of the show. 9833943943. 9833943943. Please ask questions. Every single question is taken up and answered with great sincerity. And we're going to try and squeeze in 2 questions every episode from here on. Amrita insists, and I completely agree with where she's coming from.
Rishi, before I go into the recipe of the week, there is another very interesting and very important information that I want to share. I'm sure a lot of you know it, but it's always nice to reiterate the fact that there are 3 original copies of the Constitution of India. The original copy is 22 inches long and 16 inches wide and is written on sheets of parchment with its manuscript consisting of 251 pages. This makes our constitution the largest written constitution in the world, which is why India is also called the largest republic in the world.
Nice. What are we going to eat on Republic Day?
Obviously, on Republic Day, my recipe had to be a tribute to the tricolor of our beautiful country. So I have for you a gorgeous tricolor coconut pudding. Now, this is very easy. The pudding is made with fresh coconut milk. When you add soaked basil seeds, sabja, like they call it, and you churn it in a mixer grinder, it thickens the coconut milk and makes it into a pudding. Once your pudding is set in the fridge, the beauty of this pudding comes through with the tricolor look that we give it through oranges, segments of oranges. Then we have slices of kiwi, and then in the center you add in a blueberry, and there you have a beautiful tricolor pudding.
Serve immediately.
Serve immediately, and it's so healthy, isn't it? It's healthy,
Lovely.
it's colorful, it's beautiful. What more can you ask for?
Okay, the Ask Amrita section. Here we go. Priyanka. A lot of people suggested that I should completely avoid carbs. I am overweight for my height. What can I replace carbohydrates with?
Priyanka, this is a conversation that has been going on for years and years and years, and I have also fallen prey to it. And I have to tell you that there is some truth to it. But no carbs is not the answer, because you will fall sick, you will lose your energy that you need for your day-to-day activities, but definitely reduce carbs helps. I have always advocated, and again now carbs, I've spoken about this earlier. Carbs is also of many varieties. Whether you are consuming carbs in the form of grains or you're consuming complex carbs in the form of fruit and vegetables makes all the difference. So yes, grains do have a little quantity of it, and definitely avoid at night. Unless again you are having it at 6:30 in the evening, I would say go ahead. But if you're having a late night meal, please avoid grain. You can have lots of vegetables, you can have fruit. Again, fruit I would recommend in the earlier part of the day and not so much in the evening. Finally, moderation is the key to happy and healthy living.
Amy. Hi Amrita, love the show. Which is a better choice for carrot halwa? Carrot halwa, whole milk or skim milk, and why?
See, if you're using milk, Amy, then I would highly recommend whole milk, because you want that creaminess, that gooiness, that is the final feel of a amazing, luscious carrot halwa. But if you're lactose intolerant or you're avoiding milk for whatever reason, then I would rather you opt for a plant-based milk. So I've actually shared a very nice gajar halwa recipe with coconut milk, fresh coconut milk that you can make at home. You can try it with that. You can use oat milk. You can use even almond milk. Although I would not recommend almond milk, I would rather have you use chopped almonds for this recipe to add that bite and use another plant-based milk.
All right. Much in advance, we'd like to wish all of you a very happy Republic Day for this Friday. Jai Hind, and Amrita, thank you so much for all the wonderful trivia and the tricolor pudding.
Thank you for having me here, Rishi. It's such a pleasure to be a part of Beyond the Plate. And guys, if you want any of my recipes, check out my YouTube channel, Amrita Raichand Chef and Beyond. The Gajar Halwa recipe also that I spoke about is there. And although now we are covering two questions each episode, I know there are lots and lots of questions that keep coming here. If you need to ask me anything, please do subscribe to my Instagram channel and I can answer all those questions there for you.
94.3 Radio 1.